Hey everybody, welcome back to i2i. This is where we talk about anything and everything Disney. My name is Kyle, and we welcome you whether you're watching this live or on the replay. We love to get together every once in a while and talk about what's going on in the world of Disney stuff. Today's topic is the Disney Parks realm, and we're going to be talking about the updates that have been announced for the Jungle Cruise that is going to be in Disney World and Disneyland. What those changes are, do we like them? Is there more that could be done? All that kind of stuff. We just want to talk about it with you here, share some impressions that I have about it, but love to hear from you as well. So we appreciate whatever format you're watching this and hope that you'll share your opinions as you come in. A couple things that we always want to remind you of as you pop into a live stream is ways that you can get connected with us. If you haven't, please do consider smashing that like button. If you're enjoying the content today, you can also subscribe and hit that notification bell and mark the notification bell for all so you never miss an upload, an update, a live stream, anything that we do here that you might be interested in being a part of, because we always love to see more familiar faces, but new smiling faces as well to be part of the conversation. Also, this is a good opportunity to do this as well. We just announced today in our big announcement channel update video that I posted on the channel that we have started a second channel solely dedicated to some more formal edited parks videos. So our more edited vlogs are going to be there, some ride vehicles, tours, and things like that. If you want to go check that out, that's in the description below. So I hope that you'll come over there and watch the video about the update. I'll explain a little bit if you're confused why we started a second channel over there. So that's all out there available for you. I hope you'll connect with us in any way you feel necessary. So I thought we would talk about the Jungle Cruise news because I wasn't expecting any big news, but Monday's like the big news cycle day. Doesn't it seem like it? For me, it always seems to come around on a Monday that the news cycle is starting to get going here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have the phone off so it doesn't disturb us during this. But I do think that the news cycle just starts to get rolling on Mondays, and so I don't know why I was shocked about the Jungle Cruise news. What I'd love to hear from you, if you're not watching live even, is do you think it was time, despite all the news about what is potentially coming to Jungle Cruise, do you think it was time that Jungle Cruise got something, anything, an update? What do you think? Do you think it was time that they needed any type of update or something taken away or anything like that? I know it's kind of a touchy subject for some of the things that they're going to be saying. Well, we can talk about those, and I hope that we can do those in a productive manner. But I'm just interested if anybody else thought that it was time to do something for the Jungle Cruise. Personally, I'm a huge nostalgia freak. And if any of you have been here on our channel for a while will know this about me, that I hate change. I hate it with a passion. If they ever touch Space Mountain, I will chain myself to the entrance. I'll be like the guys at the Toad-Ins, right? If you remember the Toad-Ins, there were people when they announced that Toad's Wild Ride was going to be leaving for Magic Kingdom, that they were going to chain themselves to the doorway of that. And so I might go to that extent if it ever happens to Space Mountain, if they ever try to change anything about that in Walt Disney World, because that is my ride. So in terms of my not dislike, but preference for things to stay the same, anytime there's a change, I just kind of like, don't like it, don't do it. But I can recognize that changes sometimes do need to happen, and changes can be a good thing. Very much so. If changes weren't necessary, if changes didn't amount to something almost better in some ways, we wouldn't get some of the great things and great lands that we've got coming up even now and recently. And, you know, if they had not decided to do something different with that extra land in Animal Kingdom that used to be Camp Mini Mickey, was going to be the fantasy animals world over there, we wouldn't have gotten Pandora, right? So there's good things about change, and I could recognize that. But if there's going to be change, I think there are some of the older attractions that I think need to probably have some touch-ups, some things that maybe need to be looked at that can be made better. And I'm not saying that Jungle Cruise necessarily needed that, but I think there's probably an argument one way or another that it could use a little bit of, we'll call it help, or a little bit of TLC. I think the thing that Jungle Cruise has proven is that it can last the test of time because it was built as this almost educational tour. And even now in the modern era, that obviously seems redundant because we've got Animal Kingdom right over there, right? So Animal Kingdom is there, so you really don't need the animal education part of this to be involved in it. So that kind of lost that, and so that's when they shifted to this whole idea that it was going to be kind of a comedy bit, that it was going to be something that they could make fun of, so to speak. Not make fun of is not the right word, but have fun with. And that would kind of keep people coming back because the educational part of it just lost its value. So I think over time, whether you like it or not, it has shifted more into a parody of what it once become. I kind of think Walt would like that because I think Walt would recognize, hey, we're doing something that this was trying to do much better over there. So now this can just kind of be like a glorious nostalgia fest and kind of make fun of it the entire time. So I do recognize that it doesn't necessarily, it's already changed a little bit, right? So even me, someone who doesn't like change at all, recognizes that changes have already occurred to the Jungle Cruise in and of itself already. I do think that there are probably some things that could enhance the experience, and it sounds like a few of those things. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll bring up, and I'm gonna have to slide over here, a couple of the pictures, and these are the artwork that you've seen online today, but these are some of the renderings of things that are going to be changing. One of the big things that they've talked about, and here's what I think we all know. This isn't the only thing. I'm going to slide this way. I think we all know that this isn't the only changes that are happening because this is just the first big announcement of it. But, they'll be changing the rhino scene here and updating the animatronics there. Just doing some different things with it as well. And this whole chimpanzee thing that's going to be going down with some of these boats has me intrigued about what are you doing with that? I don't really know what to make of the whole chimpanzee thing at this point. What's going on, Captain Akron? Thanks for being here. We're just talking about the Jungle Cruise, and let's see if I can put people's comments up here as they come in. So thanks for being here. Yeah, so the Jungle Cruise things that we have here. So don't think that this is all that's going to be taking place. Don't think that this is the only changes that are going to happen. Here's the interesting thing that I find by this. They were very, and I don't know if you read the press release, and I have it pulled up here in case we need to reference it. I don't think in the actual update by Disney Parks itself, it said anything about this being related to the Jungle Cruise movie that's coming out, because I think that's where everybody's mind went. I think some investigative reporters asked them about that, and then they were quoted as saying this has nothing to do with it. Does it though? I think it might just a little bit. I think you'd have to be naive to think that somewhere somebody in the marketing department at Disney didn't think, hey, we've got this movie coming out. We don't have to do a big overhaul of it. We don't have to put a Dwayne Johnson animatronic. I mean, do we need a Dwayne Johnson animatronic at this point? If the movie goes bonkers and is a success and becomes a franchise, do the same thing you did with, the Pirates of the Caribbean. The ride inspired the movie inspired the ride. I'm fine with that as long as you don't. And I think, personally, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride did it the right way, is they didn't try to just overhaul it and make it completely the movies. They added Jack in there all over the place, and then of course in the pirate scene, when the pirate ship is fighting with the fort, you obviously know that's Barbossa talking there. But other than that, those were the only major changes that happened throughout there. Captain Akron, since you're here, what do you think about the changes coming to Jungle Cruise right here? So like I said, I don't think that these are the only changes. These are the ones that they're just ready to announce. And they don't want us to think that this is related to the Jungle Cruise. But I believe that this is partially, they see a golden opportunity with a refreshed ride to do something a little bit different, to do something that might draw a little bit more attention to it when the name Jungle Cruise is kind of out there already and doing a little bit more popularity because simply the movie is going to be there. So here's the other thing too. Think about the angle of them talking about, I'm not saying it's not related to Jungle Cruise. That could tell you something about the movie, right? It could say the Jungle Cruise, they don't have a lot of hope in it. I mean, the poor Jungle Cruise movie has moved around for like 2.5 years. I mean, back when it was originally supposed to come out, it got moved like back and forth in the time slots of that year. And then it even got moved back even further because of they just didn't have a space for it one year. And then coronavirus, the big outbreak happened. So it's all just crazy. JM's here. Good to see you, JM. I like the C. Looks cool. Like the C involvement. Not C. I understand what the C is. Good to see you, Avery. Thanks for being here. A lot of our regular people are popping in here, so good to see a lot of familiar faces here. So that could tell you a little bit about the Jungle Cruise movie. If they're already kind of outright claiming it has nothing to do with it, maybe they're not so keen about how it's going to do. I'm hopeful personally, and I would have loved to have seen some updates in the future if it does well. But we're going to get some updates right now. One of the things in the press release that talked about is with this chimpanzee scene is apparently there's been some boats that have been missing from the actual ride part of it that haven't been used a lot. If I have this correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That a lot of people have noticed, and they're going to actually be back into usage, albeit as a scene, it seems like, as opposed to actually being used. I should have known that. The Society of Explorers and Adventurers. One of the great things that I think is out there, and I don't think a lot of people know, and I'll give them a shout out here, is the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, that the secret society that Avery and Captain Akron are talking about here. Yeah, I think they've done a great job with building a mysticism and kind of a cult following about that, but there's not a lot that like the general public doesn't know about that. So utilizing that a little bit more here is probably going to be a good thing. If you've been to the Adventurers Club, that's the part. Yeah, it's all coming back. I just didn't recognize the acronym. I was like, C. What does the living seas have to do with this? I get we're in water, but what does C have to do with this? No, but I think incorporating that in more than they normally would is a good thing. But these boats are going to be back in place. You can see it in the bottom left picture that I've used from the press release down here. But you can see that it doesn't seem like they'll be used in a traditional sense, but used as part of a scene. So what if I'm to interpret the press release, what I take it is this is going to be used as kind of the centerpiece of replacing a couple of other scenes that some other people had a problem with. Now, whether that's a problem or not, we can debate. And I think those discussions should be had, and they should be done respectfully, because I think there's a good discussion to be had there. But that is what it seems like, is that is now going to be taking the place of that area or something like that. But if these are the only changes, and I don't think they are, does this feel like it's like a big enough like retheming to you guys? I mean, is this something that you thought was necessary for all of this? We already got a preview of if I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm sorry. Quango Kate earlier last year when a boat sank. True. So here's another thing too. So when a boat sank, okay, I'm actually just like thinking of this right now. This is brilliant, actually. Now, in terms of turning a bad PR situation when a boat sank last year, now they're using it in the ride. How awesome is that, right? JM says Jungle Cruise is one of my favorite rides. I think Jungle Cruise personally is one of those things that you have to learn to love. I think when you're a kid, you obviously love it. When you become a teenager, you probably hate it. Most teenagers. That's probably what's for me too. When you get to be probably my age as an adult, middle adulthood, you kind of learn to appreciate the hokiness of everything and the history behind it as well. So you tolerate it a little bit more, even if it's not like the most entertaining ride out there. But I love the hokiness and the corniness of it all, because I think it's one of those things when you get to see the cast members' personalities come out the best. So I think that's why I like it, and I appreciate it. It's not my favorite out there, and it's not going to ruin my day if I don't go ride Jungle Cruise at Magic Kingdom or Disneyland. I haven't been in years and years, but it wouldn't ruin my day not to ride it. But I always enjoy it when I do it. Since you guys are here, do you think that, like, ignore the changes that are announced here and that are in these pictures and that we're talking about? Do you think it was time to give it some type of refresher, or should it just remain the same? because, I mean, it's kind of one of those final pieces of Walt Disney's vision that was still there unchanged. You know, we think about Small World and Disney World. Disneyland, it's changed. It's pretty much the same. Peter Pan's flight, besides the queue, is the same for the most part. I'm not saying that everything has to remain the same, but was it time? Was there things that needed to be refreshed and updated that you thought could have been worked on in there? One of the things that they have done to update or change around the Jungle Cruise was the Jingle Cruise, which I love the Jingle Cruise personally. Just seeing Christmas lights hung up in there. I love walking through the queue with everything that they change in there. They're playing, you know, the hokey Christmas music, but themed to the skippers and all that kind of stuff in there. So I think they've already done a great job with that. And I'm surprised that they don't, and correct me guys if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do something for Halloween in there. And I don't know why, because that feels like it's ripe for the taking with updates and things of that nature. So yeah, I do think that they are missing an opportunity there to do that. I think they could have done a bit more based on what they could have done a bit more based on what they've shown us thus far, but I'll wait for the finished product to see how I feel about it. So that's what this is, Avery. Great. I think it's a great perspective to have, that this is just a taste of what's coming, and there'll probably be more, because right now with what we're just seeing, I don't know that this was enough to make me really excited about the changes that are coming for that. Looks like they're going to have to change the Jingle Cruise spiel. They might have to do that a little bit. And no, they don't do anything for Halloween. Isn't that the craziest thing? That they change it for first Christmas time, but as big a deal as they make of Halloween in the parks, why don't they do that for, you know, for this too? Captain Akron, I'm looking forward to that movie as well. It is one that I've been very disappointed has not gotten, you know, it's gotten pushed back and hasn't had the biggest hype in the world, because I think Dwayne Johnson's a great actor. And I think, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Emily Blunt is going to play. I think they're going to play really well together in that. Isn't it delayed again? Isn't that the truth though? Speaking of which, since y'all brought up Jungle Cruise, for those of you that maybe haven't been to our channel before, we do trailer reactions, and I'll put in the description down there our Jungle Cruise movie trailer reactions if y'all want to check those out, and maybe put a card up in here as well after the fact. Yes, no, in favor of these, despite your reasons, yes or no? Anybody want to share that in the comments? Yes or no on those? Right now, I'm not a yes or no. I'm just kind of like a here. I need to see a little bit more to feel good about the changes, because like I've kind of set this whole thing up that I don't like. I'm a nostalgia freak. I don't like change. But I think that some refreshers are sometimes necessary and are sometimes good. Well, the backside of water joke is in the movie, so I'm happy. Yes, I think you'll see many of those jokes included in there. But I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share today on this, and I just kind of wanted to get out there and talk about it since it was fresh news out there. Again, let me give you a couple reminders. You guys can get last-minute comments and questions in if you'd like to have them addressed here. But if you haven't, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Big announcement today. We explain it all in the latest video that we put out before this live stream today, or our channel update. Hope you'll go check that out. But we have a brand new channel that is part of our brand, if you want to call it. It's called i2i in the Parks. It's got all our heavily updated vlogs. It's going to have them up there. It's going to have ride through. It's going to have park tours, resort tours, all that kind of good stuff there. There's already some videos up there you might want to go check out. So if you haven't, please go check that out. It's in the description. I'll put a card up there as well for those of you that want to check it out. And I hope to see you all there. Thank y'all for stopping in today. And I hope to see you on this channel on another live stream in the future. Maybe I'll see some of you at Trivia Night this Thursday. Until we assemble again, may the force be with you. And I'll see you real soon.